Ebbe.
Thanks, man. All right, I'm wired up, right? Yep. So I'm here to talk about why the future needs to be user-created. It can't just be consumption of applications or games or stuff. We have to get involved ourselves in the future of VR. So yeah, I'm the CEO of Linden Lab. My name is Ebbe Altberg, a Swede. Linden Lab is in San Francisco, and we're about 220 people, multiple offices throughout the country, Seattle, Boston, but primarily in San Francisco. So what do we mean by VR? I mean, so there's 360 photos, there's 360 videos, and there's CG, and then there's interactive, and then there's social. And the stuff that, to us, VR means social. It means that you're multiple participants actively engaging in VR or together. It's not just watching things, it's not just playing things, it's actually doing things together. So it's something like what we're doing in this room right now. So that's what's VR to us. And we know it's going to be huge. The estimates are anywhere from, a few billion just this year to Goldman Sachs saying by 2025 it'll be an $80 billion business, to other people have said $150 billion business by 2020, so different numbers. And then you have all the biggest players, Microsoft, Samsung, Google, Facebook, everybody who is big and have lots of money are investing heavily in VR as we speak. So it's going to be a very competitive space, and it's great. Finally, things are starting to happen after so many years of kind of promises, but it's going to happen. So, and it will impact almost everything. I mean, mostly what you see and hear about are games early on. That's because the only ones that know how to create interactive VR experiences today are game studios that have been doing games for years and years. But it's going to impact how you do business. And for every one of these, we have active use cases every day happening in Second Life. That's not VR yet, but it's sort of a precursor to what we know is going to come. Business meeting takes place in Second Life every day, and with VR, it's just going to be even more obvious that it's a great way to come together and meet as a group of people and having dialogue and interact, whether that's to train, to teach, to just share information with each other. Once you start to have full body tracking, head tracking, hand tracking, and facial expression and perfect 3D audio, then it's really like being there with other people. I hope you've tried things like Oculus, Toy Box, or something like that, where you can really feel the presence of another human being in the virtual space together with you. And that pretty much opens up, ultimately, almost everything humans do, which is gather in various environments and then socialize with each other. So business meetings, health. I mean, in Second Life, we've seen years and years of health initiatives, people being treated for post-traumatic stress disorder, treated for phobias, or people with physical or mental ailments being helped in all kinds of various ways. And that's going to be huge with VR coming. E-commerce, the way you can try products, learn how to use products, and then also how to sell products, obviously, is going to be changed dramatically with VR. Obviously, gaming, playing, just having fun, that's kind of the leading edge of what's happening because of who knows how to do this stuff. But that's going to take on a whole other thing. And education is another example. Lots of institutions, over 500 institutions in Second Life. And with VR, it's going to go yet to another level of Texas A&M teaching chemistry in Second Life, University of Central Florida teaching all kinds of subjects in Second Life, all kinds of training taking place as well, nurses being trained in triaging patients because you can interact with the environment and train with things that otherwise would be too dangerous or too costly or what have you. So it's going to impact almost every aspect of what we do going forward. But it's really complicated. Even though it's just started, I'm not ragging on HTC here. I mean, I think they've done a really good job with their first product. And it's great that they're around giving Oculus a run for their money so that we have some competition to make sure that we get some really good stuff soon. But you just look at that, you open that box up, and then, that's not really like your average consumer just putting this together in their own homes. And then if you wanted to create an experience, the whole software development is incredibly complicated. As soon as you get into CG and 3D and interactivity, and then if you have multiplayer or social on top of that, you're basically having to build an MMO stack in order for just a few people to come together in VR and have a conversation. And that's way beyond what most people or companies or organizations or brands or whatever it might be that's going to need these experiences could possibly afford to do by themselves. So the whole ecosystem of trying to deliver VR experience to consumer is just really, really complicated and really, really expensive. So we know what happens when you make it easy for people to create content and share content. I mean, this is just photos, but it's the same graph you see for videos, for text. And VR is sort of further out, but it's going to happen that everybody can create content and share content with each other. You're going to have this explosion in content, but it must be easy to create content. Today, it's not, unless you stick with something simple like photos and videos, which is great, and that's going to probably take off even faster and sooner because those are appropriate for even mobile VR. But when you talk mobile, when you talk immersive social VR experiences, then that is going to take a while. And it needs to be radically simplified to make it possible for people to create those types of experiences. So we've been working on this thing called Project Sansar. It's our attempt to make it easier for all of you to create, share, and own your own VR experiences for various purposes. And we've been working on it for quite a while. It's a platform that tries to take care of all the complexity so that you don't have to have engineers involved to create experiences, and you can still get rich and immersive experiences. From here on out, everything you see are screenshots from Sansar, and we'll see a little video in a bit to get you a sense for what kinds of things you can create. So where are we today? We're like 2.5 years in, coming up on 3 years of working on this project. Obviously, I have a huge amount of experience in Second Life. It's about to have its 13th birthday. So we kind of have the precursor of what do people want to do and what do they do if they're given a blank slate to create whatever they want and share that with other people and have social experiences. And I mentioned a lot of those earlier, and we know those are going to happen again. We're really excited. The project is huge because it's, the whole cloud infrastructure and the client, the 3D engine, the physics, also a commerce engine so that you can buy and sell stuff amongst yourselves, and a whole marketplace around it. We've had a small number of testers on the platform for about 9 months now, although we did tire them out after a while because we kept flushing all the content because we didn't want to be backwards compatible that early on in the process. But we're going to open the door for a lot more of you to come in soon. Here's just one example. The Inside Digital did work with Sorbonne and the Ministry of Antiquities in Egypt. So they did 3D scans and took tens of thousands of photographs of this tomb in an Egyptian pyramid. And then they crunched it on a supercomputer and came up with a 3D model with 50 million polygons. And they gave that to us, and we uploaded it to Sansar, and the process reduced it down to 40,000 polygons. And boom, now it's a social environment. It's not just something you can look at, it's something where you can actually go and meet other people, whether that's someone who takes you on a tour or meet with friends. And then over time, you can start to add interactivity to this if you wanted to. I can go touch the wall and have something come up and tell me what is this painting about, or what does this hieroglyphic mean, or whatever. But this is a way to actually make content come alive, which otherwise, for someone like them, would have been impossible to do. I mean, they could have maybe made a viewer that you could look at it by yourself, but as soon as you want it to be social, it's like beyond reach for almost everybody. So you can see the potential of that, though, as soon as you can make every experience social, whether it's for education or travel industry, but that's what humans want to do. They want to meet up in places and have social interaction. And so how do we create this content? So this is a little video that shows just, you can create it on the PC. We're focusing mostly on the layout. We're not so much about modeling the objects themselves. You can use whatever 3D modeling tool you want and just import FBX objects and all the media you want. But then in VR, you can just start sort of laying things out. We have this Mars scene here that a guy at the office, Jason, is just placing a rock on top of that thing, and he's just playing with these objects and just like laying things out. This is probably what will be comfortable to most people when it comes to creation. Most of us are not creators when it comes to original content. Just like in the physical world, we create very, very little. I mean, think about what you're wearing right now. I assume you pretty much made none of it. And then think about everything in your home, where you live, your apartment, your house. You probably made almost nothing. The home itself and all the objects within it, but you assembled it in a way that made it yours. Your style, your flavor, your rug, your art, your whatever. So that we want to make sure it's super easy so that everybody can create an experience or an environment or a place that they can call their own. So that's how easy it can be to do that. So this is kind of what the scene ended up looking like after he had monkeyed with it for a bit. And we actually do meet here and have meetings. It's kind of cool to have meetings on Mars. So here's just, I'm going to go back for a second. Did I stop that? Yeah, I did. So I'm going to show a little short video. And all the content in this video was created by just 3D artists. No engineers involved. They're all social environments. You're not necessarily going to see a lot of avatars. We're holding back on showing a lot of those. More of that will come. But all of these environments we can run around in and have conversation with each other, interact with each other, interact with the environment. But they're all created by just sort of 3D modelers and artists. And the engineers obviously did a lot of work to make that whole platform possible for those people to create these environments. And then they just upload them to our cloud, and boom, there you are, ready to go. So that's what you're going to be able to create. And if you can't create it, you're going to be able to own it, because you can go to the marketplace and buy it, and then it's yours. And then you can choose who has access to it. And whether you make a home theater where you hang out with friends watching movies, whether those are 360 movies or big screen, or if they're game-like environments, or if they're meeting rooms where you meet with colleagues and do work, or if they're classrooms where you teach students whatever subject you can think of, or if those are pretty much any social environment you can think of. It could be art, just for coming together and listening to music. And then we're going to make it affordable so that ultimately what we envision is that all of us are going to want to own one or many virtual experiences for lots of different purposes. And you choose who has access to those, just like you choose who has access to your home, to your office, to your classroom, to your health clinic, to whatever. We started to invite people at projectsansar.com just a few weeks ago. We already have thousands, multiple thousands of people have signed up to get access to start creating content on the platform. Feel free to go there and sign up if you're interested in creating content. We'll let people in somewhere around early August. And the goal is for us to be available to the world at large around the end of the year, early next year. Yeah, so to sum up, VR is an incredibly powerful medium. Once you make it social and you can have true social interaction, then it will therefore almost impact everything we normally do in life. It's super complicated to create this stuff, so we worked really hard to make it a lot easier for you to be able to do it. And I'm really excited to see what you guys can make on top of this thing, and I look forward to meeting you in one of my experiences or your experiences. So, thank you. Yeah, Carl says we have a couple of minutes if there are questions. Yes?
How different is this from the Oasis? It's different because you have a chance to create your own little world as opposed to kind of a mastermind creating the universe?
So, yeah. How is this different from the Oasis, Ready Player One? It's not totally clear to me how much people could create or not create in the Oasis, although it's implied that it was all created by someone. So we're not going to create anything. And we'll create some examples and stuff like that, but the idea is that it will all be created by you, by anyone. And then you can choose how to interconnect these experiences. Any experience you make, if you want it to just be accessible to your family, fine. To your classmates, fine. To your coworkers, fine, whatever. Or if you want it to be public because you want a lot of traffic and monetize the heck out of it and make money creating a cool game or a cool experience, that's up to you. And then you can choose how to interconnect them. So connect them through teleportation. So you can move from any one of these spaces to any other space as you wish. So, yeah. Any other questions? Yes?
Is this mostly like the CG content or actually can include real live action videos?
Well, so in this video, if you saw it, it was real quick, but there was a movie theater where you actually watched a movie on this big screen. So you can watch YouTube or whatever. It's basically a web browser. You can run whatever you wanted. And there was also one room in there that you might not have seen, but it was actually a 360 video. You walk into a platform and you're inside the video all around you. And that's all user created as well. So you can choose whether it's video content or anything you can do with a browser you can do in there, or a mix with CG. So it's all, and an audio, so you can mix pretty much, it's the ultimate multimedia mix, yeah.
Is it desktop VR only or that mobile VR can do that?
Mobile VR is the last platform for us to deal with right now. We have a lot of work to do to get the performance of the platform to the point, like we're comfortable at 90 frames per second for all of the stuff you saw in Oculus and Vive. Mobile VR though is not really ready for multiplayer, social, interactive. That's just kind of beyond what mobile VR can do. So as the mobile platforms get stronger and faster, and we get stronger and faster, at some point they will intersect. But I think that's a couple of years out or something. Yes?
Are you incorporating spatial audio?
Yes. Yes, spatial audio, and it's beautiful. Like if someone starts talking to me, I know exactly where they are. I can tell if someone's talking from behind me. So we play these games where we sort of teleport around a space and go, where am I now? And then there you are, you know. So it's very nice. Yeah.
All right. I think that's all the time we have. So thank you very much, Ebbe.